Hey, yo, what up?
Here. Y'all found us.
Okay.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Seriously Podcast. You can find us at seriouslypodcast.com as well as icn.dj. You can also catch us on SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and iTunes. To keep up with the conversation with us, make sure you guys are using hashtag SeriouslyRecap. All right, guys, let's start the show.
Let's get it.
If you want the tea, come get with Seriously. Talking about your favorite web series right here on Seriously.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Seriously Podcast. It's your girl Brittany.
And I'm Mary.
And this is Seriously Podcast. If you don't know what Seriously Podcast is, we recap web series and we have a lot of fun. We get down and dirty with these series and we just break them down, share our questions, comments, and concerns.
And there's so many web series out here. Like,
oh my God, many. The list is just so long.
And it just keeps growing and growing and
we
growing.
Love it, though.
We love it, but, you know, we're only two girls.
Only two girls.
We can't do it all, y'all. All right? So we're bringing web series and chill back, y'all. For those who are not familiar with web series and chill, this is where we just take a series, we talk about it as a whole, and we give you reasons why you should be watching it, why you should be binge watching it. Today we're talking about Blue Collar Hustle, the second season, and with us today we have the creator, Alonge Hawes. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you for having me. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. So we always like to ask our first question for all our guests. What was the first web series that you ever watched?
The first web series that I ever watched was a web series called Almost 30 by Matthew Cherry. Which I thought was really, really good. And then right after that was a web series called Clean and Coffee by Nakia Stevens, which I thought were really, really good and kind of helped me on my journey towards creating my own web series.
Yeah. So tell us about Blue Collar Hustle for those who, just getting to it. What's it about?
Yeah, Blue Collar Hustle it's a scripted series about 4 young black men who live in Atlanta, Georgia, who are trying to create their own business. They're trying to start their own independent record label. To push one of their friends as a rapper. And they're doing this while working their 9-to-5 jobs and juggling things like their families, kids, and things of that nature.
So, and also, congratulations on your new marketing deal with Seeker TV. How did that opportunity come about?
Thank you. Yeah, Seeker TV has been one of the first, they were actually the first distribution partner that we had. We launched on YouTube early last year when we did the first season. And we put out the first 2 episodes, and then after that, we saw that Seeker. I was doing some research for distribution partnerships, and saw that Seeker was about to launch, and reached out to them and showed them the first 2 episodes, and really they just really took to us from the start, and the relationship grew from there. And after we had a lot of success with the first season, and we actually won an award at the Minnesota Web Fest, which Seeker TV is a sponsor of. Mm-hmm. So after that, having all that goodwill, that's how the deal kind of came through to do a season 2 with them. And we launched season 2 exclusively, as of right now, it's exclusively with Seeker TV.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. So I know you also play a Johnny, right?
Yes, I play a Johnny Garvey, one of the main characters.
Mm-hmm. So what do you like better, being in front of the camera or being behind it?
I think that there's great aspects of both, honestly. It was kind of born playing the character was kind of born of necessity because it was one less actor that I'd have to pay. So I was like, yeah, let me just do this so that way I don't have to worry about another actor. That was kind of like what started it. But after we really started on the journey, it was just really, really good just to play the character and what I felt was a portrayal of an African-American millennial in modern day society who is, responsible and taking care of his family, but also has, a goal and a dream that he's trying to realize. So I like both. I honestly like both. I would say being the creator and the writer, I really like the writing aspect the most, but I enjoy all aspects of the production.
Okay. So what was the biggest struggle you had creating this series?
Getting the finances together. Initially, I think probably everybody says that when you're starting an independent, business or anything independent, it's just really just getting the finances together. So what I did is I took like $2,000 that I had from a savings account and reached out to the director of the first season. His name was Jeffrey Henderson, and just said, look, this is what I have. This is my vision. how much is it going to cost to get this together, and what can we do to work towards that? And he gave me a fair rate, and from there it was really about just having the wherewithal and having the determination to do a lot of self-funding. So the first season was mostly entirely self-funded by myself and my co-producers and some of the cast as well. We just got it done.
Wow. So as far as storyline, what is the biggest difference viewers will see from season 1 compared to season 2?
Season 2 is much more. We go much more in depth into the personal lives of the characters. Season 1 was about establishing the characters and establishing them as individuals so that you liked them and wanted to root for them. Mm-hmm. And in season 2, we go deeper into who these people are and some of the internal conflicts that they're dealing with while trying to make it in the music business.
Yeah, awesome. And I read in a past interview that the overall theme for season 2 is exploring the effects of post-traumatic slave syndrome in modern-day millennials. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about how, as far as being historically disenfranchised as an African-American, community, some of the things that we have to go through just to get a leg up. And what I wanted to do with that is I started thinking about all of my favorite rappers or my favorite producers or my favorite musical entities. When you think about, entities like Motown, when you think about Bad Boy, when you think about Rockefeller Records, when you think about a lot of these, these people that came together and started something that really changed the course of music history, they never stayed together. They always ended up breaking up.
True.
And when you think about that and you ask yourself, well, why is that? Why is it that these black geniuses never can stay together? It really just comes down to a lot of things, and it comes down to the fact that a lot of us aren't taught the togetherness of a unity of community. We're taught that we have to get ours by any means necessary as individuals, because we've come from some certain situations where it's like we don't have it, we never had it, and we're going to get it by any means necessary.
True. So
when we come together, we have a common goal, but then when we reach that goal, what's next? Because black people aren't a monolith. So I may have an idea about how to go about doing things. You may have an idea about how to go about doing things. And when it clashes, instead of finding a way to do it together, we're just like, okay, we're just going to go our own way. Because everybody wants to be the boss. And I believe that is an effect of post-traumatic slave syndrome. So that's just something that we're going to explore in season 2. And it's a kernel that I placed in season 1, but we're going to explore it full on in season 2.
Okay, so what's the biggest message you want the audience to get from your show?
The biggest message I want the audience to get from the show is that black millennials in modern day society, we have not been portrayed. My feeling is we haven't been portrayed properly, and with all the talk of diversity and how far we've come, we still have so much farther to go. And I want Blue Collar Hustle to be a piece of that conversation towards diversifying even within our own communities.
Definitely, I think you do a good job of doing that too.
Thank you.
So now we're going to get into episode 1 of season 2 of Blue Collar Hustle.
Awesome.
Okay, so the episode starts off from like a young buck. Johnny, his dad always blessed him with knowledge, and he always told him, like, you should always ask yourself, who are you? So then we cut into him, like, today. He's at work. He's at a meeting. Boss lady said something about productivity. He got big mad and said, I quit. Like, I don't want to do this no more.
That was the last straw.
That was it. So that was actually a plot thread from last season, and we kind of ended it on a cliffhanger. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to kind of address right off the bat. So last season, Johnny, he just gotten promoted, so he was basically the manager of that location. And he's somebody who takes great pride in his work. He's somebody that basically started from the bottom. He started at the lowest position and worked his way up to being a manager, and he was very proud of that. And when he met Quan and decided they were going to do a side business, he's somebody that basically, he's kind of a direct one-way type of person. He puts his energy towards one thing. He spent so many years putting his energy towards the corporate side. Now he's putting all of it towards the business, the record company that they're trying to create. He does not know how to split, his time. He doesn't know how to split his his obligations.
Right.
And so, it comes out that he's not doing as good as he usually would, and his district manager comes and basically is like, look, you got to change it or we're going to fire you. And that puts him under a lot of stress. And when we see him now, at this point in his life, he's like, okay, you know what, I'm done with all this. This isn't what I want anymore. And he makes a rash decision basically and just quits. And it's something that he didn't even plan. He just did it.
Right.
So that's where his mindset is in that scene.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you can't do that. You have to get a backup plan. You have to, come on. Like, he has so much. Like, he has his girlfriend, he has his kid. Like,
absolutely. And again, that's what I'm talking about when we talk about, periods of post-traumatic slave syndrome. This is somebody who all his life has worked hard towards a specific goal, and now he has another goal, and he sees his window closing. And, as a black man, we're only taught that we have so many opportunities because we're growing up taught that, okay, you have so many rappers, you have so many actors, you have so many dancers, but we always hear that, where's the lawyers? Where's the astronauts? Where's the mathematicians? And he grew up with that mindset that he didn't want to fall into that stereotype. And now he sees that it's not a stereotype, it's a goal. So he said, I can only do one thing. And I'm going to do this thing because I only live once, basically. True. So he's like, the consequences be damned. So he's not thinking about everything now. He just made a decision.
Right.
For better or for worse.
So let's see. So the next scene, we see Quan. He in the studio, but homeboy is struggling. Like, he got writer's block.
Oh, my God.
He don't know
Is he on something?
Was he a little high?
He was all
Nah, he's not. No, he's not high. He's just... So he's basically, everybody in the group serves a purpose. Johnny's the leader. He's one that always is the cool head. He's always has the plan. And Quan's kind of always the rash one that we have kind of to pull back and keep him on, on one path. Right. So right now, last season, the goal was to put out the album. We put out the album, and he had all these lofty expectations, and then the album comes out and doesn't really perform how he expected it to perform. So he's just really in a period of frustration right now. He's trying to see what his next move is, and he wants to make his next move his best move. And he doesn't necessarily know if the plan that Johnny has set for them is the best move.
Right.
But is he doing something on the side? He got money? Like, where all this jewelry come from?
Johnny, and the rest of the main characters, before Johnny quit, they all worked together.
Right.
And
but he was always struggling, like, because he said his baby mama's always, like, bothering him to buy stuff. So where did all this jewelry come from?
So the jewelry is jewelry that he's accumulated over time. It's not something he just bought. He's a responsible father. It's just stuff that he's accumulated over time, and he's just flexing. He wants the world to see him as Quan Kubrick, the artist. But in reality, he's struggling with that. He's struggling with living up to those goals.
Right. Yeah. And he's also upset because he wants major results right now. Like, he sees these mumble rappers out here getting big. He's like, what's taking us so long? But he wants, like, it takes time. He needs to calm down.
He is so big mad. Like,
I just want better, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know my shit is better than half of these niggas spin that garbage on the radio. Yo, beats are better. Johnny, his ideas are better. So, man, what else we got to do, man?
Hey, yo, man. It sound like you hating on another nigga hustle, man. Like, it's not about them niggas, man. It's about how hard you ready to work, man.
Right, he's big mad, but see, and this is something that we explore in the, later on in the season. You'll see the source of his frustrations because he's actually been doing this for a while. And it's getting to the point now where he sees his window closing too, and he thinks that this is his best chance to get on now. So he doesn't want to make any excuses. He's like, look, we need to get this money now because I'm only going to be rapping for like the next maybe like year, and then after that it's like, what else am I going to be doing? Because nobody wants to be the 30-year-old rapper who hasn't got on.
Right. But you'd be surprised they be out here starting at 40.
And he just seems to be getting angrier and drinking away.
Well, he is. He's getting more. It's not really anger at this point. It's frustration.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Because they worked so hard to put the album out, and they spent so much money, and they spent so much time and energy. And when you feel as if the audience isn't appreciating your art, you feel rejection. And Quan is somebody who you'll see doesn't take rejection well.
Right. He really does not. My God. Okay.
So we go to Anthony and Asha. They're at the office. They're trying to find what's going to be plan B because Johnny's gone. So it's like, where does that leave us at this point? So Asha, she always been the one to kind of fly below the radar, just doing what she has to do, not go above and beyond.
Right.
And I guess because it's not really her passion, right? So she doesn't really.
No, it's not her passion at all. And again, when we go forward into the season, we'll see what her real passion is. But she's someone who basically just took the job as a job. Exactly. And even though she has the potential to be more, Johnny tried to pull that out of her in the beginning, and she was like, "Nah, I'm not doing all that, homie. Like, we good the way we are. We're not changing the boat." Now she's kind of being forced to if she wants to stay employed.
Right. Because Anthony's like, corporate's about to come down in a minute.
Right. And he's the new
Johnny. Corporate's coming to fire everybody. Like, it's a wrap. And this really happens in these type of situations.
Trust me, relatable. No, this scene was just all too relatable.
Too relatable. Oh my God. It took us back. It took us so back.
Right. They're basically like, so in the story, the way it's told is Johnny was given free reign. And what Johnny did was Johnny hired a lot of young black people. Mm-hmm. And when you hire, and unfortunately it's a fact in the world, when it's a bunch of young black people in a corporation, if you do not perform above and beyond, they will just come fire you and put somebody else that they feel like can do it better.
Fire all y'all. Everybody has to go.
Everybody got to go.
Trust us. The whole team went. The whole team. Right. This happened to us. Whole team was gone.
Right. So Anthony's trying to stop that from happening, and he knows he needs Asha's help because Asha knows the system better than anybody. She knew it better than even Johnny did.
Right. Come on, so we find out that Anthony is the new Johnny.
Yes, Anthony is the new Johnny, which is a position he never saw himself in.
Right. He's
so it's like everybody's lives are affected by Johnny's rash decision making.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we see Johnny got the nerve to be at lunch, like he ain't got no job. The nerve to be eating.
You better go home and make a ramen noodle. Cut it out.
Okay, you know how. I don't know how it is, but for men, I know for us men, when we have bad news to deliver, we like to give our women or a significant other a spoonful of sugar first. So for a lot of us, hey, let's go out to dinner. That's like the spoonful of sugar.
Don't try to butter me up.
Right, we're buttering you up before we're like, hey, about that though, while you're enjoying this meal. So he basically took her to her favorite restaurant, and he's kind of distracted because he knows he has to give her bad news, and him being him, he knows how she's going to take it.
Right.
So, yeah.
But, I mean, she communicates to him that she wants to take more acting classes, and she wants to cut back on working hours, and she wants to see if this is okay with him.
I want to make sure.
He literally says, so actually.
Right. And that's
I just quit my job.
Like right. That's I wrote the scene like that to show that she's trying to be considerate of his feelings and his situation, and in the moment he wasn't considerate of her feelings, her situation, because for a lot of black men, for better or for worse, us chasing our goals, there's a lot of selfishness in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's a lot of selfishness in chasing your goals, period. So I was trying to highlight that point and just show how that could fracture a relationship.
Yeah. Because all he had to do, as he was sitting in that meeting with his boss, he could be like, I'm not feeling this. Let me go home. Let me think about this. Let me talk to her, and I'll quit tomorrow. He just made that rash decision. Come on now.
Or maybe not even quit at all. Maybe he didn't have to quit.
Yeah.
He felt, and it's up to the viewer to decide. I tried to leave it up to the viewer. He felt at that moment, based off how his life was going and how he was feeling, that he had to quit that job.
Right.
For better or for worse. So it's just up to the viewer to understand. Anaya doesn't think that he should have quit at all. So
right, need that income. Definitely.
Right. And he was making good money. So
yeah. I think it was, you said something about he didn't know how to do both. Most of the time you have to have your 9 to 5 to fund your dream. That could fund your side hustle. He's not thinking like that.
Right, absolutely. And season 1, that's what he was doing. He was working and he was using that money to, help his family and be a good family man, but also to fund the dream. Now it's I just took that away from myself.
Yeah.
And now it's what are you going to do now? What's your plan? He's always been the one with the plan. Now he has no plan.
Right.
So she had to call on to the Lord because she had to go off on him.
Oh, Lord, my God.
Babe.
Please tell me that this man, this seemingly good man, is simply playing a joke on your faithful servant.
Look, I had
Lord,
to, okay?
please.
I had to. You just
Tell me.
You don't understand how.
I understand that we have a 1-year-old daughter who's at my mother's house right now.
Like,
Yep.
you had no right to be doing that. Like, you were so inconsiderate. You didn't even think about me or your family. You just did whatever the hell you wanted to do at that moment.
Absolutely, and I feel like her reaction was 100% in the right.
Oh, 100%. 110%.
She's like, you worked 2 years to get to that position, and you out here quitting to manage some artists? Like, are you serious? You didn't even speak to me about this? Are you crazy?
Like, the artist's not even making, major money, so it's not like
moves. No.
Oh man.
So, she's disappointed, and she ends up leaving, but what did he do?
No, first of all, he didn't even chase after her, like, let's talk about it. He was like, what time he hitting the stew? That's his main concern.
He did. She was like, look, I'm going to leave with the car, and you can Uber to wherever, because I know you can't wait to, tell your boys that you're free now, and that you can do whatever you want.
That's all you care about.
And she was absolutely right. So, again, we're in a situation where it's instead of chasing the dream, it's what is the dream going to cost you to realize it? What are you prepared to give up? Is he prepared to give up his relationship? He's already prepared to give up a high-paying job.
Right.
So now are you prepared to sacrifice your entire relationship and how that person feels, and you have a daughter?
Yes. Come on now.
And they didn't even go to the studio. They hanging out outside. So what was the point?
Well, so the scene is outside the studio. So they were at the studio, and when he comes up to meet them, they had just left.
Oh, they just left this too. Okay.
Yeah, so they had just left the studio.
Okay. So he puts them on, and he got a lot of plans or whatever, but Quan ready to quit.
Quan
is ready to quit, and Johnny's like, no, you still need your job. Like,
no, Johnny need a job? I'm confused.
He's like,
Johnny's basically saying, I have savings, I have connections, I can get another job. You don't have those connections. You need your job. Everybody can't just quit.
Yes. And even Anthony's kind of like, you making all these plans? I don't even want this position. Like, do I get a say in anything?
For all intents and purposes, they basically begged me not to follow this man out.
They offered you my salary?
A little bit more, actually.
Good. So, they're desperate, which means you can negotiate anything. Now, what that's going to do is allow us to get quantity days
You're
off.
forgetting one thing, man. If I even want this job, and all the headache that comes with it.
He's like, wait a minute, I was your right-hand man, and now I'm the man at the job, and you just acting like it's all cool now. Like, you didn't even ask my feelings about this. Now, I never wanted to be the man.
No.
So, it's just like, it's kind of sowing seeds of discord.
Yeah, and I think this is another example of Johnny kind of being selfish. Like, he didn't talk this over with he got all these major plans, but he didn't put his boys into it. Kind of.
Nope. No, he did not. He just said, this is what we're doing,
right,
and you guys are going to follow my rules, because everything I've done so far has been successful.
He gave a little speech and pumped something in their hearts, and he quoted his daddy. He's like, who are you? And they believed him too. They felt that in their hearts.
Yes, who am I?
Well, because in his mind, in Johnny's mind, he's right. And Johnny doesn't think that he's doing anything wrong. Now he may feel a little bit of residual guilt from what happened with him and Anaya, but when it comes to them, he feels like, and that's why he says Anaya doesn't understand me, but you guys have to, because as black men, he feels like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And you guys understand, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm sacrificing. In his mind, he's sacrificing for them.
Right. Oh, true.
That's what he tells himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's telling himself, so.
And he convinces it, so it's like his gospel. He believes it.
Right.
Yeah, he's sipping his own Kool-Aid real hard.
And they sipping right with him. Yes.
Right. Well, because so far, everything that he said in season 1, all the plans that he had helped. It helped get them to a higher level, a consistently higher level. So right now, he has a lot of goodwill with them. So they may not understand everything that he's doing, but at this point, they believe that it's going to work out.
Right. And then they have a little cipher. They all say this hype. And then we see Johnny. He goes home and he's watching a Jay-Z interview.
It deals with people who you started your life off with and what success does to them. People look at you strange, saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same.
I love that line because
got him thinking.
Yes, he's like, that's what I'm saying. That Jay-Z said it best, y'all. That's what I'm doing.
Right, absolutely. But what the more ominous tone about it is when he's talking about the Basquiat painting and how you work so hard to get where you get, and you fought the battles and you won, but at the end you can't keep the crown. Somebody's coming to get it. You get your head cut off.
Yeah.
And that's just a little bit of a shape of things to come. It's like, what are you going to sacrifice to be king of the hill? And then when you get to the top, who's coming for your spot?
Right. That's true.
That's deep.
That's deep. So we'll see if this change is going to be good or bad for him. I feel like it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy. And I wanted to reflect real life because, again, you have so many people, again, who come into it when they're young and they think that, being a rapper or actor. I was actually listening to one of your older interviews with a gentleman when you guys were doing the Washed recap.
Yeah.
And he was talking about when he was coming up being a rapper and he thought, by 30 he was going to retire and just live on the beach somewhere. But, it all hits us at different times.
Yeah.
The reality hits us. And so for Johnny, it's kind of going backwards. He's somebody that started out responsibly and decided he was going to cast away all thoughts of chasing your dreams and all that. He thought it was nonsense. And now he is chasing his dreams. So now he's kind of living backwards in a way. He's still trying to do it in a responsible manner. He's still putting his all into it. But he's going to find out very, very soon how hard it is, number one, to be a leader. Number two, to keep people excited and invested in what your vision is. And number three, how hard it is to really, really get to that grain and really, really work for it, because it's different than working in an office setting or a retail setting where you can see clear terms of advancement. There are no rules in the music business.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk about why our listeners should watch.
Yeah.
Yes. So Mary.
So I really like this show because I like that you guys we get to see the perspective of like a black man, like chasing his dream, but also trying to provide for his family. And that's something that we don't really see on TV or on any other platform. And you guys also touch on like political topics like police brutality, social injustice, protesting, and we get to hear like from a black man's perspective as opposed to like someone else speaking for a black man.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for saying that. And that's something I wanted. The premise, on its own, I felt like was interesting, but I really wanted to explore topics in the African American community and explore, conversations that we've been having, and really just kind of put it out there and show people like, yes, it's real, and yes, it does affect us. It's not just something that we watch on TV and say, oh, yep, another black guy, and then we just get up and we go on about our day, just getting shot and killed in his own apartment. No, we carry this with us. Like we go to work, we have conversations. There have been times when we go to work and we have conversations like we feel like, man, we don't even want to be here today. Like we're so demoralized by the senseless violence and the senseless killings and the senseless murders and the senseless lynchings that are going on, of our people, both black men and black women, that is just, sometimes it's just so demoralizing. You don't even want to go to work because it's like, what for? I could be on my way to work, get pulled over by a policeman, and that could be the end of not just my day, but my life. Like, why? And these are just the conversations that need to be had.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're talking about episode 1, but I'm really excited for viewers to actually watch episode 2, because you guys talk about Kaepernick, and I feel like you guys did a really good job of incorporating that and like having a message. So that was really, I like how you guys incorporate these conversations.
Thank you. Yeah, I worked really hard on that particular episode because I wanted to do the conversation justice. And I wanted to show, because back when I wrote that episode, we didn't know what Kaepernick's ultimate fate was going to be. We didn't know if he was ever going to get another job again. Now he got the Nike deal. And everything's working out for him. But back then, his future was really murky. And I wanted to explore like the consequences of standing up for what's right in the African American community. What consequences do you face? You can be blackballed. You can lose your living, which of course you lose your income. And how can you take care of your family? Of course, you stand up for what's right, but standing for what's right costs you everything.
Right.
And I just wanted to explore the hypocritical nature of that.
Definitely. So what are you most excited for viewers to see throughout season 2?
I'm really excited for viewers to see the journey itself, and just to see how the 4 main characters, how they're changed by the journey and how they're changed by the decision making, of all 4 of them as individuals. I'm also really excited for the audience to see, again, like I said, we do episodes that, kind of split off a little from the main plot, and you see the lives of characters that you never really, that you weren't privy to in season 1, because season 1 was a big setup season. for you to understand who these characters are. But now you meet their families and you see like what makes them tick and why they see the world the way they do. Because like I said, Black people are not a monolith. So I want just for the audience to see that and really just see that there are so many different and beautiful and challenging situations that Black people go through that just makes us us.
Right. One more question. So I know a lot of web series creators' goals are to make it to TV network. Is that something you see for Blue Collar Hustle?
When we talk about TV networks and we talk about like the big networks, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, no, because I feel like they bastardize the vision, and that's not something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
What I'm mostly interested in is streaming distribution.
Right.
I think there's a lot more creative freedom, and I think there's a lot more risk taking going on in that form. So that's what I'd be interested in personally.
Yeah, that is what's up. I love that.
I love that, honestly. So, for the show, do you think Ajani will ever go back to the workforce?
Stay tuned.
Oh,
Stay tuned.
okay. Because he got bills.
He got
bills, so stay tuned.
He got bills.
Wait, so Mary, do you have any predictions for the rest of the season?
What I would hope is that his girlfriend leave him because
Ooh.
he acted irrational out here. He didn't think about her. He convinced himself that, he's making all these moves for his family so he can, have his legacy. But in the moment, he's thinking about himself only. And I can't respect his selfishness.
That's
so I feel like
interesting prediction.
He needs to be alone for a little while.
Really?
To realize, what he lost or could lose for the long term.
Very interesting prediction. Very interesting. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
I mean, I think she's mad, but I feel like she's a supportive girlfriend. But they're not married yet. He needs to propose.
I think she's supportive, but I feel like he's playing around because if she forgives this one thing, he might try that shit again. Like, do another selfish move.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah, another selfish move. And she might just, it might be too much for her. Like, she's going to reach her limit at some point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yes. I'm hoping. I'm all for side hustles and small businesses. So I'm really hoping that this label gets off the ground. I want Quan to be big, by the end of the season. I want people to know him and just see what's up. That's what I want to see. And I like Quan. I like Quan is a very hilarious character.
Quan, yeah, so you want to know something that's funny? Like a lot of that is based off of Quentin Williams, who plays Quan. That's just a lot of that's based off his real personality. He's a real smooth, charming guy, but he also has this way about him where he's really funny in certain situations, and just his perspective on certain things is just always so. It's just different,
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Quentin Williams. That's my homeboy.
Right? He's single or no?
Yeah, I'm let him speak for himself.
No. Okay. But yeah, I'm really excited for the rest of season 2. I feel like there's a lot of twists and turns that I'm ready to see. So everybody should watch.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on, man. This has been a goal of mine to be on your podcast for a long time. Yes, I told you I love you guys. I've listened to a lot of your interviews that you did with the creators of Tough Love, which is a web series that I feel like is phenomenal. And Makeup and Breakup, which I really love that show. That's one of probably my top 3 or 4 favorite web series of all time. Right. I love that show.
Really good.
And just a lot of things that you guys are doing in the web series community, especially for the Black web series community, you and Black Talent TV. So when I first heard you guys, I was like, yeah, I got to get on there. So
oh my God, thank you.
Thank you so for having me.
All right, so before you go, can you just share where everyone can follow you on social media and where they can find the show?
Yes, absolutely. Blue Collar Hustle right now, season 1, you can find on YouTube. We're also on Quelly TV. We're also on Go Indie TV, and of course Sika TV. Season 2 right now is exclusive to Sika TV. So if you want to catch, if you just want to binge watch and watch season 1 and season 2, it's on Sika TV. The first 5 episodes of season 2 are available right now, and we'll be having the next 5 out very, very, very soon. And as for myself and the show, on Instagram, we are BCH_web series. On Facebook, we're Blue Collar Hustle. And on Twitter, we are BCH_web series.
Yes. All right. So make sure you guys follow and stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you so much, Alonge.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that's it for today's episode. If you want to keep up the conversation, make sure you're using the hashtag SeriouslyRecap and following us on all social networks at Seriously Podcast.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our website at Seriously Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, make sure you just fill out the little chat box on the bottom of the page.
Yes. So until next week, bye, guys.
Bye.